Madridistas, the countdown has begun. On August 19th, Xabi Alonso's Real Madrid kicks off the first round of La Liga against Osasuna, and the friendly in Innsbruck was not just a sparring match but a rehearsal full of clear hints about the team's future style of play. Yes, the opponent, Tirol, is far from Champions League level, and that's something we need to be honest about. But sometimes less means more. In games like this, you don't see the drama of the result, but rather the structure, the roles, the chemistry between key figures. And most importantly, we saw Mbappe with his sights already set on the season, plus two new pillars of Alonso's project, Dean Huijsen and Arda Güler. Drop a like on this video and let's get started. The new Real under Xabi is already being built around two main pillars. The first, Dean Huijsen. This signing is obvious from a mile away. A player who dictates the build-up from the back, reads the press, keeps the tempo and the verticality. He has the full passing arsenal. Short ones to keep the rhythm, medium ones to shift lines, long ones to instantly create danger. Often vertical breaking through defensive lines. Comparisons to Hierro and Kroos aren't about hype, but about profile. A center-back playmaker who controls a huge area of the pitch and frees the midfield from the dirty work in the first phase. Without Toni Kroos, Dean Huijsen becomes the perfect starting point for building attacks. And this match proved it again. The second pillar, Arda Güler. In the first half, we literally heard from the touchline, "Find Arda." This isn't my invention. These are Xabi Alonso's exact words, confirmed by a trusted source, Madrid XTRA. Find Arda sums up the Turk's role in Alonso's scheme. Positioned to the right of Tchouameni, who covered the holding midfield zone and sometimes dropped in as a third centre-back, Arda wove attacks together with actions combining vision and delicacy in the final touch. The touch, pure light, the decision, a tempo setting. Guler looked phenomenal in this match. His pass to Mbappe for the second goal was the kind only a handful can see, and Kylian's finish was that of a true number 9. Twice he hit the crossbar, and first after cutting inside on his left, then from a free kick. I mean, it's not about bad luck, but about how often he got into high-threat areas. For the first time in his career, the Turk is ready to be a decisive figure from match day 1. Kylian started in the classic triangle with Vinicius on the left and Brahim on the right, but he didn't stick to one position. He played as a 9, a 10 and as a winger, cutting inside to shoot. His movement in the box was a masterclass on its own. The first goal came from a lab set-piece routine, the second in Ronaldo Nazario style, control pause rounding the keeper and calm finish. In the end, the brace, several chances and assist to Rodrygo for the 4-0 after some step-overs in the box, and above all, a feeling of ease. After a tricky Club World Cup spell when illness knocked him off rhythm, Mbappe got the time to reset. Physically and mentally, he looks charged. That's more important than the opponent or the match status. It means that even before La Liga starts, Real already has a stable generator of expected goals. Given the absences, Bellingham, Camavinga, Valverde, Alonso logically shifted the start of attacks deeper onto the back line. Huijsen carried the ball forward, Tchouameni supported as a 6, who in build-up dropped as a third central defender. This improved stability against potential pressing and secured the channels behind the lines. The flanks were set for Trent on the right and for Carreras on the left. The first, more cautious but with a right foot glove and one clever cross shot. The second, tidy in defense but lacking depth in attack. One key point, Carreras didn't get much help from Vinicius, who held a very high wide position, eating up space. So to get more involved, the Spaniard will need to cut inside and join short passing triangles. That's a growth area. The right side with Brahim, Guler and Trent produce the most interesting combinations. Brahim brings intensity and the ability to cut inside dangerously without distorting the structure. His cross found Militao for 1-0. Under Alonso, set pieces and crosses are becoming weapons again. In open play, Brahim combined well with Arda in 1-2, forming a diamond where Trent could be either an inverted fullback or provide width for a second phase switch. Beyond Mbappe's brace and Guler's magic, the story of the match was undoubtedly Eder Militao. 2 serious injuries, 2 seasons nearly without football. And here he is again, quick over the first step, dominant in the air, and with a headed goal as a bonus. Last season, without him, Real lost a lot in winning second balls in the opposition box and defending set pieces in their own. Dean Huijsen and Militao pair looks logical. One adds verticality in possession, the other brings aggression in duels and cleans the zone. Against Champions League level opponents, this synergy will likely form the foundation for Alonso's high block. Aurelien gets talked about less than he deserves. In the first half, his perfect recovery run prevented a one-on-one after a poor Vinicius clearance. In the second, he delivered the assist to Mbappe for the third goal. Yes, with the ball he's sometimes too simple, but that's the plan. When in doubt, look left, there's Huijsen. Alonso seeks balance between economy of touches and tempo, and Tchouameni in this system is the safeguard that puts out fires before they spread. Mass rotation as per the coach's plan. The team switched to 3 center-backs, but Arda and Huijsen stayed on to test a different shape. The Turk moved centrally, alternating in the build-up with Alaba, while Huijsen became the left center-back. Even in a mix of reserves and starters, Alonso drills principles, not just names. Angled build-up, occupying half spaces, quick switches to the weak flank. Mbappe also stayed on, could have easily had a hat-trick, but the final word went to Rodrygo, 0-4 with a sharp finish from almost no angle after combining with Kylian. Here's the honest truth. This was already Xabi's 7th starting lineup, 8th if we count the shadow friendly with Leganés, and only in the first one was Rodrygo among the starting 11. At the Club World Cup, he had a total flop. 65 minutes versus Al Hilal, 23 versus Salzburg, 4 versus Borussia Dortmund. This follows last season's final, when he lost Ancelotti's trust and Gonzalo Garcia moved ahead of him in the pecking order. And then there's Endrick, given the number 9 shirt, a big sign. City's interest in the background is also a factor. If Rodrygo wants to stay and be a starter, not just a rotation player, he has to hit turbo now. The goal against Tyrol was important, his first since March 4th, but it must be the start of a run, not an isolated spark. Trent Alexander-Arnold, a player with a premium skill set, but in a back four he's still restricted. When both Brahim and Guler are on the right, there's less space for his raids. Either the positioning changes or he needs to play braver. Carvajal isn't just breathing down his neck, it's real competition, especially in a back four system. Carreras, Demista and Carval's defensively solid, but in attack still bland. With Vinicius holding the wing, the Spaniard needs to cut inside more boldly. Ceballos too slow in phases that demand electricity. No surprise Alonso corrected him during the hydration break. Vinicius, few moments of danger and one careless clearance that almost led to a one-on-one. A star remains a star, but he too needs to find rhythm. Lunin, on from the 61st minute, made a confident close-range save. Rudiger, as always, great in covering. Fran Garcia, Courtois, without much attacking depth, though it wasn't needed here. Gonzalo, very dangerous in the box, inches away from heading in Guler's cross. Alaba, a special case, the home hero for the stands, greeted with ovations and an intelligent option Alonso tested as a holding midfielder in front of the defense. For a player coming off a knee injury, it's a position that hides the lack of explosiveness but keeps the quality of the first pass. A very intriguing seasonal option. The club enters the season with a new captain's corps. Modric and Vázquez are gone. Now Carvajal wears the armband, followed by Vinicius and Courtois, with Valverde as plan D. Symbolic, yes. Practical, even more. Alonso isn't just assigning on-pitch roles. He's shaping the circle of responsibility in the dressing room. You can see it in how the team reacts to his find Arda. Not as a shout, but as protocol. The 0-4 score in Tivoli is just the backdrop. The point is that Alonso's project already has structure. Build up through Huijsen, creativity through Guler, Mbappe's universality as a multi-tool, Militao as a new signing restoring aerial dominance. Questions remain: the right flank with Trent, Carreras' role in attack, Ceballos' game speed, Vinicius' sharpness. Challenges too: no Bellingham at the start, finding the perfect number 5 in midfield, Rodrygo's competition with Gonzalo. But the main thing, the team already knows who they play through and exactly how they want to attack. Next week, Osasuna, the first real test. There won't be as much space, no time for a second touch, and the opposition will test set pieces, reaction discipline, counter-pressing quality, and the endurance of new partnerships. If the pillars hold, Huijsen in possession and Guler in the half space, Real will get not only the first 3 points, but also a confidence that will multiply into many wins over the season. And yes, Madridistas, we love big names, but football is often decided by structure and details. Today, Real has both. And when you add a Kylian who's smiling with his eyes after a brace, it means we're ready. Ready for a season where every touch can be a threat and every vertical pass by the start of a story. Write in the comments what was your main takeaway from the match in Innsbruck. Mbappe's brace, Guler's magic, or Huijsen's composure in the first phase. Like for an honest breakdown without rose-tinted glasses, subscribe so you don't miss our breakdowns of every Real match this season. Hala Madrid!